Today, I'm going to be talking about the video game online stores and the battle passes that they tend to sell these days. And I want to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly about them, and my thoughts and opinions. I'll also be talking about a little bit about what came before people started adopting the current online store trend and battle pass trend that I believe was started in Fortnite. Don't quote me on that. But I do have a lot of opinions on it, so I'd like to share them with you all today. First things first, I kind of want to start off positively and talk about the good things that have come from the Battle Pass and today's monetization, is that we have gotten past loot boxes and gambling that you would see in games like Halo 5 and Call of Duty Black Ops 3 that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm really glad we're away from gambling, because to me the loot boxes were always BS, because you weren't paying for an item. You were paying for the chance to get an item. And especially with how a lot of video games do, even if they have an mature rating, let's be honest here, a lot of video games are played by smaller kids and you're introducing them to gambling. And gambling's illegal, at least where I live, in most of the states. So that was just something I fundamentally disagreed with, and I'm glad to see that we've moved past. The next thing I'd like to talk about is that I do like macro/micro transactions, because it's a way for gaming companies to make more money off of their product, and the money they make can help keep these games lasting longer than they would have if we had the old school cycle of like every 2 to 3 years we got a new game. Like Counter-Strike, I think, is a great example of this. All Counter-Strike 2 is going to be is just an upgrade from the old one. There's not going to be much in the way of differences from what I've seen. Of course, I don't play Counter-Strike, so if I'm wrong, just let me know. But I genuinely like the fact that games are starting to have longer shelf lives, because it's not going to be as dramatic as, let's say, a Halo 3 to Halo Reach or a Halo Reach to Halo 4. Like, yeah, they're all Halo, but there's vast differences in the games. Now we are just getting one game for a long period of time that'll be upgraded and updated. Also, the last thing I want to say that's good about the new monetization is that we are starting to see games that are actually free to play. There's no $60, $70, $50 barrier to entry. And because of that, more people are able to play them, like Halo Infinite, Apex Legends, Fortnite, Call of Duty Warzone. These games are inherently more popular because they're free to play, and they make their money off of monetization from microtransactions and the Battle Pass. Which, some people might not like it, but me personally, I am a fan of the live model service when it is done right and well. Now, let's talk about the bad that has come from the new monetization stores that we see in these games like Halo Infinite, Call of Duty, and Fortnite. And the Battle Passes that also come from them too, is that we no longer have things like career progression, or in the case of Modern Warfare, the prestige system. And we no longer have things like being able to unlock the recon armor like you used to be able to do in Halo 3, or become an inheritor like you used to be able to do in Halo Reach. No one's gonna look at you when you completed your battle pass and be like, wow, he's got the flaming skull head from the Season 1 battle pass of Halo Infinite. No one's gonna care about you getting the end battle pass items in Call of Duty. It's just something people don't really concern themselves with. But when they see your 10th prestige, back in the old school days of Modern Warfare 3, if you were like 10th prestige, people paid attention to that. When you were 15th prestige in one of the Black Ops games, people paid attention. But people aren't really going to pay attention to what battle pass cosmetic you're wearing, or what, weapon skin you bought. If anything, they're just going to be like, wow, he spent money, good for him. And again, I don't think there's necessarily something wrong with the micro transactions. But let's be honest here, like, there's a sense of accomplishment when you hit max prestige in a Call of Duty, when you hit Inheritor in Halo Reach, and when you had the recon armor in Halo 3. And I do think gaming companies have gotten a bit lazy on that and forgotten the importance of those things. The next bad that has come from the new monetization system that we have in video games, specifically in the free-to-play department, is that a lot of game companies are very happy with the idea of giving you an unpolished, broken game that lacks content. But it does work. Their store, their battle pass, and they're always willing to sell you that. Like Halo Infinite is a great example of this. It's still unpolished, it's still not great, but what is the most polished thing on there? Their monetization shop and their battle pass shop. you can buy the battle passes on there pretty good, and you can buy the cosmetic items on there pretty good, but literally everything else about the game is unpolished, like the menus to put cosmetics that you paid for on your Spartan. And then we see something where, game companies like Call of Duty with MWII are more than willing to sell people Modern Warfare 2 for $70 or $100 for the Vault Edition, and then when we get the game, there's hardly any maps, there's hardly any content, and I mean, there wasn't even a career barracks where you could see your KDs, your win-losses, or anything like that. And it's just like, we're paying $70 for the bare minimum of content, and there's still a micro/macro transaction store, but if you look at something like Black Ops 2, it was the full deal at launch, and there was a lot more content and a lot more maps. So that's just one of the negatives I feel that have been happening from this new trend that we see in video games, is that they justify the free-to-play model or even hiking up the prices of video games by a little bit, but yet they have way more ways of making money than they did 10 years ago. We're getting less for more. And on a side note, you cannot convince me that Call of Duty Vanguard was not a way for Activision to put World War II guns into Warzone, because there's no way they really cared about that game. And the last bad point I want to make about the new monetization that we see in video games, a lot of the customization, like in Halo Infinite, for example, you used to be able to make your Spartan all black or make your Spartan all white, or give him white with, like, let's say green stripes or green with white stripes, but you're missing stuff like that now because they're selling it back to you. You don't just get blue, you have to pay for it in the store. You don't just get white, you have to pay for it. And you have to pay for it, and it has to be the way that 343 made it for you. It can't just be the simple coloring system like we used to have in literally every other Halo. It's like back in Call of Duty, you used to be able to buy a weapon camo, and that weapon camo would work with all your guns, like back in Black Ops 2. Unlike today, where you get one of those weapon blueprints, and it only works on one gun, and it's the attachments that the devs have chosen for you, instead of it being able to, put it on any other suppressor and having the same theme of the weapon blueprint. Now, what I really want to do at this point is get to the ugly part of the new monetization that these gaming companies are working with. And when it comes to the cash shop specifically, is that you can't just buy an item, you have to buy the currency of the store to then buy the item. And the items in the store are never the exact price as the currency bundles you can buy. So for instance, we'll start with Halo Infinite here. The armor coating and I think 2 weapon coatings is 600 credits to buy. And if you look here, you'll notice that you can buy the 500 credit currency or the 1,000 credit currency to get it. But if you buy the 500, then you can't get the armor coating. You are 100 credits short. But if you buy the $10 1,000 credit one, then you are 400 credits over. So in reality, what is $6 worth in in-game currency is actually $10 because that's what you spent. You're not spending $6 on a $6 item, you're spending $10 on a $6 item. Imagine if you went to a grocery store, but you had to buy their Monopoly money, and let's say ramen was $1, but you had to spend $5 just to spend $1. Well, you still spent $5 at the store, it's just now you have $4 that you can't return to have $4. And I do think that's scummy. Another thing that I don't like is when there's FOMO in these type of shops. Specifically, Halo Infinite has this. You can't just go in there and buy it. Everything's pretty much limited time, and it's all bundled. They want to get you with that fear of missing out. They want you to spend money because, well, it might not come back. And I fundamentally disagree with that. Don't think I'm just ragging on Halo though, it's just that's really been my main game that I've played for a long time. Call of Duty does the same thing, and I'm pretty sure other games do it too. It's just, it doesn't matter if it's Halo, Call of Duty, Fortnite, or whatever game does it, it's scummy. I don't like it, I think it's wrong, so I want to talk about it. But at the same time, unlike loot boxes, I don't think there should actually be any sort of legislation on it. The last ugly point and point in the video overall that I want to make is I don't like the grindy nature of the battle pass. If you buy the battle pass, you have to get it completed before the end of the season or it is gone forever. Like, you don't get to just keep the battle pass if you didn't finish it in season 3 if you have the season 2 battle pass. No, it's gone, even if you paid money. And I just fundamentally think that's wrong, and it's kind of making gaming into a job that it shouldn't be. Now, I will give Halo Infinite credit that that's not a thing with Halo Infinite. If you buy the Season 1 Battle Pass, it's there forever, and you can buy it even if it's Season 3 currently. Also, when the Battle Passes disappear after the season, there is also a sense of FOMO because you don't want to miss out on your cosmetics going away. Now that it's the end of the video, I would like to thank you for watching this far. And these are just my thoughts and opinions on the current microtransaction store and battle pass system that video games currently use. I'm sure it'll be different in the future, but I do like the way things are going currently. Now, if things change for the worse, I will talk about it, but I hope we steer in a better direction that is more user-friendly, because as it is currently, it's good and better than the gambling that we used to have to do if you wanted the good cosmetics, but it could be better. And that's why I'm criticizing it, because I just want to see it be to a point where it's just transparent and we can buy what we want without having to do all this extra crap. Thank you for watching the video, and...
I'm sorry, sir. It's time for you to leave.